This is Eli, aka Devoted Day Trader. Today I traded HD, Home Depot, and a PTON, and both stocks gapped down. And I was able to, I took, I believe, about 6 or 7 trades on those stocks, and they were all winners. So 100% accuracy today. So let's start with HD, Home Depot. So Home Depot was down about 2% in the pre-market because it has news that it forecasts in 2020 or its 2020 sales growth is going to slow down. And on the daily chart, it's been selling off. But what I liked about the daily chart was that the stock is bouncing off the 200 moving average, and it's creating a double bottom on the daily chart. And the double bottom on the daily chart and the 200 and pre-market low, this line, they all coincided, so they all came in together. So I was long biased on HD in the open despite the weak news, and I thought this was a good contender to push all the way higher and try to close the gap. So I waited 5 minutes, and when I saw that the buyers were in control, I went long. I believe at 211 and 85. I put my stop right below the moving averages, like around the 50% of this big bar. Ideally, the stop is supposed to be at the low of day, but I wanted to minimize my risk, and I wanted to have a good risk to reward ratio. So my stop was about right here. About here, it popped up, and I locked in profit, and I had about 25% of my position remaining. And once there was no follow through on this big bullish bar, and when it made a new 5-minute low, I got out on the rest of my position, and that was a good move. And then I noticed that now sellers were in control, and the buyers who bought here are trapped, and they tried making a comeback, but sellers said nope. So I went short with this lower high as my stop, and it dropped. I covered my entire position at this price because I did not like this, that there was no follow through or big follow through after this bar, and I did not like the bottoming tail on this bar. And we were also at the low of this this bar, this big bar, which is support. So I took the rest of the position off, and so that was a nice trade. And yeah, I could have held for a little longer, but right now it's consolidating, and it's probably gonna chop around. The other stock that I traded is a PTON. And PTON, they were downgraded by Citron. They said that the stock is going to go down to $5, so they gave the stock a target of $5 per share. It's currently trading in the 30s. And the other thing, Python has a massive short float, so 63% of the shares that are available are all shorts. So in the open, I noticed that it started weak. Sellers sold it down, but buyers tried taking control, but sellers said no. So I went short with the break of the low of yesterday and market low as my stop, and it dropped. Since my risk was small, I covered 75% of my position here, and I took the rest off once there was no follow through on this bearish bar. I took the buyers were making a comeback, 1-2 bars, so I took it off. But once I saw that buyers failed, so buyers tried pushing it higher, but they failed. Sellers said nope. So and then there was follow through. So I went short with my stop the high of this bar. The ideal stop should have been right here. This lower high. This should have been the proper stop, but I wanted to keep my risk small because I knew that at 30 it was most likely gonna bounce, and once it dropped, I covered 75% of my position at 30, I believe at 30.04, and I should have liquidated my entire position here, but I thought maybe it could drop to on the daily chart to about 29.86 or so, but well, I guess it did. It got as low as 29.87, so it did test the lows of these bars, but at any rate, once I saw this huge bottoming tail, which is buying pressure, I took off the rest of my position, and I was done trading for the day. So traded 2 stocks, and I took 2 trades on both, and they were both winners. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.